If my 4-year-old can track his gigs, manage his spending, create a lemonade stand strategy, why do grown founders still not understand their sales and marketing funnel? Guys, this is Unearth with Shelly Hughes. I am Shelly Hughes. In this podcast, we talk about the good, bad, and ugly of creating a professional, passionate, profitable brand. It's about unearthing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the wins, the losses, the lessons learned about building the business of your dreams. And I want to tell a story. I was walking through the grocery store when my son, he spots lemonade. And a few weeks earlier, we went to a lemonade stand, and he had his money with him, and he spent his own money and got a cup of lemonade. And he wanted to get the lemonade. And I said, Tuck, you don't even drink lemonade. Why do you want lemonade? And he said he wanted to sell it, not drink it. And that's when the moment hits that this next generation of entrepreneurship is at our fingertips, and we have the amazing ability to shape it so early. So teaching entrepreneurship to kids does not require business school. It starts with language, values, and systems inside the home. And so I believe that if we raise creative, resourceful, confident humans, we need to treat childhood like leadership training in the most sensitive way possible, of course. It's not just behavior management. So here's some of the things we do in our family to really support entrepreneurship. And even if my kid never becomes an entrepreneur, I don't necessarily want that for him, right? But here's some things we do in our family to help with that entrepreneurial, very resourceful mindset. So one thing, we don't have allowance, we do gigs instead. So in the Hughes household, we run gigs instead of allowances. And I've said this on the podcast before. We have this whole chart that has pictures of different gigs. FYI, Tucker, my 4-year-old, he is responsible without pay of the things that he has to do. Pick up his toys, clean his room, that kind of thing. He's responsible for those things. We're working on his laundry. We're working on it. But we have this whole gig system. And here's the thing. It's completely voluntary. He doesn't have to do a thing on there. But we haven't bought him a true toy except for his birthday. I don't know the last time we bought him a toy. If he wants something, he has to make money to pay for it. So it's completely voluntary. There's quarters in each slot, and there's a little picture about what it is. And each gig gives value to the family household. So it might be unloading the dishwasher. It could be doing someone else's laundry. It could be feeding the dog. It could be taking out the trash, shoveling snow. It could be something that truly adds value to the entire family. And what I love is a few things. One, it shows him that he works when he adds value to something, as all entrepreneurs do. He gets rewarded for it. So it's not just this allowance thing where you just get money for showing up, right? That's not the kind of kid I want to raise. I want to raise a kid that understands that if I want something and if I want money, I have to figure out how to solve a problem and provide immense value. The other thing I like about it is we get to count his money, right? It's all in quarters, so we can count his money and we can figure out how much money he has. We trade that in for cash. He then brings that cash to whatever store he wants to get a toy or whatever it is from. The work is voluntary, money is earned, and quality matters. We always check to make sure he did a good job. The other day, he was dusting things, and I had to go over and make sure that he was doing it well. Quality always matters. What's interesting is I was thinking about as he turns 5 and as he gets bigger, as the child grows, so do the responsibilities. So something I was thinking about was giving him a raise and probably paying him more than a child dusting should receive. However, what I was thinking in this kind of next phase is, okay, give him a raise. So he's going to have a lot of money to manage for a 4-year-old, a lot of money to manage. So maybe he might have $20 to manage. His piggy bank is nice and full and we get to count the money. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, let's give him more responsibility and give him an understanding of a savings plan and a budget. So what I would want to do is put about 50%. Every time we count the money, we dump out his coins. 50% goes to whatever he wants to spend. About 30% goes into savings so he can save money to get something bigger. Because one thing that we've been trying to learn is, yeah, you can spend this $10 right now and get this cheap toy, or you can save and get this really cool thing in the future. Delayed gratification is really tough for a 4-year-old right now, so we're trying to teach that. But I think this next evolution is 50% you can spend on whatever you want. You can go to Wawa and get a donut, you can get a truck, whatever you want to do. 30% you save, and you save for something that you really want to buy or invest, or we have to think about what we want to do there. And 20% you give. So what I want to start doing, especially he's going to more birthday parties and that kind of thing, I want him to spend money on people. We're starting that right now. We just put about 4 quarters aside for my 1-year-old's Christmas gift from my son, from my older son. So once he turns 5, I want to make it a little bit more formal, where 50% of this money you get to spend, 30% you have to save, and 20% you put aside. And he is going to be responsible for paying for every single one of his friends' birthday gifts. If he's invited to a birthday party, gifts for me for Christmas, gifts for his brother. And I might move those percentages around just a little bit, depending on what is working and how many birthdays we do have. But I think that's going to be the next phase in this journey, is getting him to understand budgeting and getting him to understand giving. And what that means is you have to put some of your resources aside to give it to someone else. So that might be gifting as we get more involved in church. Like maybe he donates to the church just like we do, or we donate to something the church is doing. And I was thinking about this lemonade thing, right? When we were walking in the grocery store, and he said, no, I want to buy lemonade to sell it. I was like, oh, this is a whole entrepreneurship lesson that I can talk about, right? Profit margin, sourcing, all that kind of stuff. You know, how you have to spend money to make money. I wasn't just going to buy him a gallon of lemonade, help him set up the stand and have him sell the lemonade, and I'm probably going to be at a loss, right? When he's ready for it, and we kind of have to prep him, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, okay, you have to make, let's say, $15 to get your supplies. And he's going to do gigs, and he's going to get those, let's say, $15. Probably even less, probably $5, right? Then we have to source all of our product. Let's go to the dollar store. We're going to get our powdered lemonade that we can make ourselves. It's a little bit more labor intensive, but it's cheaper. We're going to get our cups. We're going to get all these different things, right? And then we're going to be able to see, okay, how many cups of lemonade do we have to sell to get to the margin that we want, that is our goal, right? How much money do we want to make versus how much do we have to spend to buy and source all these products? Then we'll be able to understand, what is our marketing strategy for this? How do we make signs saying lemonade stand this way? Do we have a picture of him? Do we post on social media saying, hey, we're selling lemonade? And we can post saying, we're getting lemonade today. We're going to make videos of him making it. Get the hype up, right? So we can talk about marketing. And here's the thing, we could make also a really simple CRM for the lemonade stand. If he wants to do this more than once, we can say, okay, track how many customers came, a tally sheet. Maybe it could be beads in a jar. Every time a customer comes, you can put a bead in a jar that we can count later. We can record purchases, how many $1 purchases, $2 purchases, $5 transactions. Use a sticker chart. We could use printed customer cards if we really want to do a whole loyalty plan. Have a post-event recap. Did anyone leave feedback? What was the feedback? If we do this a few times, were there any repeat customers? And of course, parent assisted, but this could turn into a Google sheet. It could turn into a million different things. I don't know how excited he's going to be about it, but I'm super excited about this lemonade stand that we're going to do. Entrepreneurship is parenting in so many ways. You're not just raising a kid, you're modeling autonomy, grit, solving problems, curiosity, and you want to praise effort and risk-taking, not just outcomes. And so the same principles build great companies just as they build great humans. And so that's what I'm trying to do with my family. Entrepreneurship isn't about raising these mini moguls, right? It's about raising problem solvers who really believe in their ability to make an impact. And so start small. Create your own little gig board. I can even, if you're interested, just DM me. I can share you the one I have. Hand over a problem and let your kid brainstorm a solution and just watch what happens. So that is my episode today. If you like the episode, please rate and review. Send it to a friend you think would love it, and I will see you next week.